Thanks.
So, PK, I suppose we organised or started to organise this call before you jumped on the other week with Rosa. And unfortunately, I wasn't on the call to listen to that live, but listen to the recording, and it was just amazing. And I spoke to a lot of the people at the SKO event, and it was the most amazing kickstart possible that we could have had for that event. So thank you so much. And the questions that you answered and how you answered them was just amazing. And I think, I put it out to the group, what would you like to hear from Pete and Erik today? And, really, you nailed a lot of it. But what I think would be a really cool thing is, it's a very rare opportunity and a beautiful opportunity to have you both on the line at the same time at this personal level. So really from you both, just a bit of a more intimate discussion about, where Isagenix is going, and especially from you, Erik, just to hear from you where it's at and where it's all going, and a bit of your beautiful, lovely vibe that you share so awesomely on stage when we see you, but to have this close contact is phenomenal. So yeah, if I can just say thank you so much for for such an amazing SKO event in Melbourne. Bummer that you weren't there, but it's so like every event that I go to, it just keeps the integrity and the authenticity just keeps getting stepped up, and I think everyone agreed with me that Melbourne was amazing.
Oh, that's so good. Well, I know we missed out on SKO, but we'll be there at Celebration in Brizzy, so it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to get back in Oz. We're actually going to be there you're going to be there in 2 weeks. I'll be there in 3 weeks, so we're coming down. But yeah, it's awesome to be on the call with everybody. Thanks so much for joining. I love Zoom because I can see everybody's faces. I see we got people driving in the car. We got little Odie with us. Gotta love it.
She's so cute, little bubba.
But yeah, I mean, it's such an exciting time in Isagenix right now. I would say that, to be honest with you, we've had such an incredible evolution with Isagenix. We've been around for obviously 14 years now, so we've built such a incredible foundation. And I've been able to see this incredible company grow since its infancy, and to see where it's at now. I mean, when the company first started, I can literally remember being 14 years old and being a rebellious teenager and literally watching my parents in our living room, and it was like them and like 3 other people that was the company. And that was the staff that was supporting everybody. I mean, I remember my mom literally licking envelopes, mailing checks out to people. She was like the commissions team. That's what she was doing. And now, and then for our first two years, they were operating out of a teeny little office with like 6 cubicles, along with John Anderson and a couple other people. And then we moved into our next office, which was our previous office that we were in before the office we're in now. And we had about 300. Well, we moved into that building, which was a huge building, and that fit about 300 people. And we actually moved into that building with 11 employees. And so my dad's always kind of said, we don't want to really build a company for where we are. We want to build a company for where we're going. And I think that that vision has always served us well in Isagenix, and to see now where we're at, where we have over 850 employees working worldwide in Isagenix, supporting all of you. We have 600 employees at our office in Arizona, and if you ever get a chance, seriously, to come to Arizona, to the USA, and check out our world headquarters, you got to come, because it'll just send your belief even more through the roof, and it'll really make you proud to be a part of this company. And seeing all of our employees, what they do every single day to support all of you, and of course also in our Sydney office as well. But this year in particular, over the last 3 years, we've had some explosive growth. I mean, we've gone from over the last 4 years doing 330 million in annual revenue to 445 million to 725 million to 892 million. And this year we're getting very close to doing $1 billion in annual sales. And
I just want to stop you there because I know these Aussies, they want to hear about like where's the company going in terms of like consciousness and values and stuff. They don't want to hear about the numbers.
No, I'm just saying that, that those numbers just equate to the lives that we're impacting around the world. And I think that where we've gone in the last, 3 or 4 years, I think that what is so true to us is our values and our culture. And I think that our values and our culture is really the glue that holds everything together. And I think it's probably the best product that we offer in Isagenix. I mean, we have, we have great products. We got a great comp plan, but it's the culture that ultimately is the magnet that pulls everybody together from all around the world. And really this year we've taken the time to define what our core values are to us, which you've seen with our What Drives Us value statements, where we have a slogan that goes along with each of our values. And, in our vision, something that I know that I'm very passionate about, I know that Pete is also passionate about, and I know that you all on the call are passionate about, is, taking care of our planet as well. And I think that, our vision has become, to free people from physical and financial pain and become the largest health and wellness company in the world, but really to become the company that's the best for the world. And we've recently launched an initiative called Green Today for Tomorrow at our home office at Isagenix, where we've eliminated all of the bottled water at all of our, at the corporate office that everybody was consuming. We know that bottled water obviously causes a lot of destruction to the planet and our environment. We're encouraging people to host, paperless meetings, all that stuff. And it's shifted people's consciousness to really thinking about the environment and the planet. And we're really excited to start rolling this initiative out into our field of associates as we start looking at how we can improve our packaging, how we can improve our supply chain, and just make it much more environmentally friendly. So that's that's a big process that's going to take us time, but we're committed to it. We're committed to the planet. And so that's something that we've been working on kind of behind the scenes that I think you'll see coming soon.
Yeah, that's awesome. And look, it's such a amazing part. I think, look, a lot of us, I'd say almost 100% of the people on this call started within the company because of the products. And Erik always says it perfectly, is that the reason why people come is very most often not the reason why they stay. And that you've nailed it, like the culture and the whole community. I mean, for me, it's largely been just seeing and coming to the events over time and seeing how it's evolved and really shaped to the Aussie market as well. And Peter's vibe for myself and quite a few in the team, it's been your energy, Peter, that you've brought to it, and the realness and Aussiness, which sometimes sometimes the vibe of all the hype can get misconstrued sometimes. But I think when it's brought back to the way that we would all do things on a day-to-day basis in Australia is a really fucking cool thing. So excuse my French. Yeah, sorry.
Erik,
but and it's just amazing to see the realness of, like, the real SKO this year was so. I mean, I unfortunately didn't get to celebration because Lowy, but every corporate event becomes so much more grounding, and to see the leaders and the trainers up on stage and just they're telling you exactly what you need to know from the bottom up. And it's because people are leading with leading when they really, network marketing was so foreign before, and all of us haven't been involved with network marketing companies before, and so we're being taught from an integrity perspective with the culture that Isagenix provides, and it's amazing to watch, and it's really amazing to be a part of.
Good.
So thanks so much. And look, I suppose one of the biggest questions that's coming up, because there's a lot of hype around it at the moment, is you know, the UK launch, and that it's heading into a massive market over there. And so I suppose, can you give us any, I mean, there was Pete gave us a bit of an insight into it on the call a couple of weeks ago, but Erik, can you kind of give us a bit more of a insight into that, and perhaps you know, some hints or tips of how do we maybe start to think about that market a little bit more?
Yeah, totally. Well, it is true. We are definitely going into Europe, and we're going to start in the UK. It's going to happen in 2017. And again, we're doing everything we can to make this launch as successful as possible and have it be here as soon as possible. But again, we just have to do things the right way. We have to have all of our products that are approved. You know, we got to set up our office, hire the staff, and we're in the process of doing all of that stuff so that you can be assured when we open, you know, it's going to be done the right way. And so we're setting all that up now. But in the meantime now, I would just be reaching out to people, certainly in the UK, contacts that you know in the UK, and just letting them know that Isagenix is coming in 2017. I would not set the expectation that we're going to be there, you know, in the first quarter or even the second quarter. I would just, you know, more under promise and over deliver, and just tell them that, hey, it's coming. We'll be there next year, you know, and just start doing some education around, you know, our culture and our values and our products and stuff like that, so that when we're open in 2017, they'll be ready to go. But, you know, so be doing that, but make sure that you're not losing focus of, you know, right there in Australia. A lot of times, some people, as soon as they hear about a new market, especially the UK, and I know that Aussies in the UK have such a connection, it's easy to just totally shift your focus and focus only on the UK. And so I would urge everybody to, yes, start making the contacts, but also, you know, don't lose track of Australia. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface of what we can do in Oz. I mean, you think about where we are worldwide. We've got 550,000 people using our products worldwide, which is crazy when you think about the population just of Australia. I mean, what is it, 23 million people? So, you know, we've got a lot of work to just in Australia. And so my philosophy has always been, you know, if you can't build in your home market, then, you know, there's no reason to think that you can build in another market. So I think that just not losing that focusing on Oz, but keep getting the connections going in UK is huge, because it is coming in 2017.
It's not going to be that late, but you just don't want to overpromise people. You know, some people are like, oh my God, it's coming. Like, you know, there's just some people who habitually overpromise and they're always under-delivering, and it's just so much better to flip it around. So it's not going to be that late, but it's just a lot of precautions. But I just start preparing people, you know, just prepare everyone. Like just start, like Erik said, educating them, start just keeping an eye out, start going to English pubs, you know, just hang out, drink beer with them. But just think of it that way, like long-term relationship building, you know, like it's worth it. And it's not tactical relationship building. It's just intentional relationship building. Like you got, you know, just start to think about who do you know maybe you've lost touch with that you may just want to nurture a relationship again, so that you can help someone that they know.
Yeah, and I think a big one there is referrals, because you know, obviously if you don't directly know someone, there's always a Pommy accent or around you that you can tap into. So thank you so much for that. So one question I'd probably, well, it's for you too, Erik, but Pete, particularly with building your business, and obviously SKO was such an amazing event. Everyone's come back so pumped. But I suppose with that pumpness often not often, but does come overwhelm. And I think it would be really advantageous if you could just perhaps go over how you dealt with overwhelm, or perhaps there's some people thinking, oh wow, I saw so many successful people up on the stage, but can I really do this? I mean, especially if I'm not full time. And I mean, I know that you built obviously quickly, as we all know that you ran for it. There's quite a few people in here who are building part time, or aren't running as fast. So can you possibly just touch on that for us? That'd be great.
Yeah, well, I think, and on the last call that I did with Rory, I think we went into this, which was perfect timing. We spoke about how feeling good on this journey is the most important thing. And a lot of people do get gypped out of this opportunity because they think that everyone has to go fast. And in Australia especially, we had this time where everything was going really fast. It was a natural thing in business for something to happen really fast, and we went through the momentum. And then everybody who was being born into the company in 2014, 2015 started to see that as the normal, and they started to see anything slower than that as bad. And really, it's just not the case. It's just what happened was a lot of people were going fast, and that's not normal. It was just, so I don't want anybody to think that, oh, well, look at these people who went like 1 to 7, 8 stars so fast, and I'm not doing it. I must be doing something bad. It's like, no, you just came in the momentum time, and now we're in the normal, very stable time, which is a healthy place to be. So I think it comes back to what I spoke about on the last call I did with Rory, is that it has to just feel good to you. And when you're in overwhelm, I always like to ask people to just ask themselves, what is the next most relevant step? And it really is just so simple. And I think firstly, you just got to block out the noise of, anything that doesn't feel good to you, essentially. Even if somebody says to you, hey, you know what, I want to do this 90-day game plan X fast, and I want an accountability partner, and I want to just get on a call once a day, and that doesn't feel good to you, just don't go there. Like, this has to feel good to you. And I've learned that the hard way. I've learned it from making every mistake myself and everything that I've done, but it has to feel good to you, period. So you need to take everything you've learned and put it into a plan that feels good to you. That might be the 90-day game plan. It might not be the 90-day game plan. And I'm glad his mom isn't sitting next to me when I say that, because she'd be like, why are you saying something on the 90-day game plan? But she would really love me, because what she really cares about the most is that you feel good. And I know that for a fact. She cares about that you have time with your family. She cares about that you're happy on this journey. That's what she cares about more than anything. So as much as she's a driver, at the end of the day, she wants you to feel good. So my message is, please remember that every single person on this journey it wants different things. I needed to go really fast. It was urgent for me. I only had 2 paces at that time in my life, full out or burned out. And I went through both of them regularly. There was no middle ground. There was no gear 5. It was gear 10 or passed out. And that's all I knew then. And that's because I had a very big goal to retire my mom. And I had a very big mission to get this into the world of as many young people as I could, because nobody in Australia was doing it, period. So that was my journey. That was my story. That's exactly how it needed to go for me. But now looking back on mentoring different people and having people coming into my business who wanted to go fast, who wanted to go slow, what I've learned is that the number one thing we need to take into account is that, how is this going to feel good for me? So that when you are moving forward in a way that feels good, and I'm going to go so into this I was just working on this today because I'm going to pull up my event, but our alignment is literally our highway to everything, period. You want to go 1 star, you want to go 2 star, you want to go 3 star, you're not going to get there if you're not feeling good. And I truly believe that. It's like action and alignment together are the magic. But if you're trying to act out of alignment, it's not going to work. So if every day you're forcing, or every day you're sprinting when you don't want to, or every day you're doing something that doesn't feel good to you, I almost feel like the action is just, it's not superpowered action, because it's not coming from that place in your soul which is aligned. So first and foremost, you need to ask yourself and make the plan, make the roadmap. How is this going to feel good? Who do I need as an accountability partner that's going to make me feel good when I get off the phone to them? Who's not going to make me feel crap, like I'm not going fast enough, or I'm not talking to enough people? Because you don't need that. Like, you're not a failure if you don't enroll 10 people a day like other people do. Like, it's just not people's journey. I mean, I can't do that anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, how's this going to feel for you? Find someone else on your, in your postcode, not postcode in terms of that, but your energetic postcode. Find somewhere in your alignment postcode who you're going to be able to build an alignment with in terms of just checking in, so that you are not comparing yourself or being swept up in someone else's pace. So in terms of taking, I hope that was answering the question, but in terms of taking everything that you've taken from SKO, it is a lot. And not all of it is relevant to you. I want you to know that. Like, from everything that we learn at an event, most of it is just going to your cells, I hope. Like, this is why I tell people at my events, don't bring a notebook, because it's just in your cells. You don't even need notes. Just go away and now do something. But that's what I believe. But take what is the most relevant to you. So from this event, take your notes and find what is the 5 things that are most relevant to me right now. Keep your notebook and then come back in 6 months' time and ask again, what are the most 5 relevant things now? And it's probably going to be something different. But if you're trying to take everything you learned at SKO and put it into practice now, it's too much. So just take what are the 5 most relevant things for me right now. It might be the time management part. It might be Mary's story of don't hold on to your past. Whatever. I mean, it's obviously I'm a Facebook stalker, but don't try and take the whole lot right now, because the whole lot is not meant for you right now. Like, there was people in that room who were platinums who basically have been lazy asses and need to get revved up again. Their information is not as relevant as yours. There's people in there who are brand new. Their information isn't as relevant as yours. There are people in there who've been in for 8 years and finally want to go. Their information isn't the same as yours. You know what I mean? So there's people in this everybody in that room was so different and at such a different place in their journey. If you try and take the whole event and apply it to your business tomorrow, then basically you're just, you're going to get overwhelmed. So just take it all, decompress and say, great, which part of this information do I need right now? Which 5 things am I going to focus on? How can this feel the best for me? What goals can I set that feel good? Please don't set goals that are like fantasy goals. That's one thing that I'm teaching everyone now, is no fantasy goals. Because fantasy goals don't work because they're not aligned. And if something is not aligned, it doesn't work, period. It's like trying to trick the universe. You just can't do it. So set your goals and make them feel good. Like, write it down and say, does this feel good, achievable, realistic? Or is this a fantasy goal that I'm writing? Like, I want to be 8-star by tomorrow, 4:45 p.m. You know, and that's, people do that and then they're just chipping away at themselves. And it doesn't feel good. So alignment is absolutely the key to everything when it comes to your business, whether you're enrolling, whether you're scheduling, whether you're setting goals, whether you're doing 90-day game plan, when you're choosing accountability partner. It's all alignment. And if we try and do anything from misalignment, it's gonna hurt. It's just really gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's awesome, PK. And look, I think exactly what PK said then. Look, if you did take a lot of notes at SKO, maybe before you go back and look at them, maybe just think about what are the key things that might have stood out to you, or you can remember from the top of your head, because they're most likely the things that you need to work on.
So true.
And look, so the other thing that this kind of question flows pretty beautifully on from that is obviously in the human experience that we're all in, it's very natural to go in and out of flow. And I suppose one thing that I think would be really great to hear from you, Peta, is the strategies that you use, because obviously you're going in and out of flow just as much as the rest of us. So the strategies that you use in terms of how you deal with when you notice that you come out of flow and how to get back in. If you can just have a bit of a yarn about that.
Yeah. So I think, firstly, it's normal. I think if we're in flow all of the time, we'll probably be about ready to graduate from Earth and head over to the other side, because we don't really have any more shit to do here. You know what I mean? So I think, firstly, understand that it's normal. Like, I go through phases where I'm just like so unmotivated and I just want to eat bread and I just want to just lay down and just watch Shark Tank all the time. Like, I go through those phases and I'm like, I used to beat myself up and be like, no, like, you got to be productive. You got to be like, rah. And now obviously, like, the rise of the divine feminine, I'm just like, it's just swept me away. So now I eat the bread, I watch the Shark Tank, chill out, and I just realize that this is life and it's how it works. And I accept it now because I realize that my resistance was not my alignment, and my alignment was the key. So once I got this alignment was the key piece, when my body wanted me to rest, when I was feeling a little bit unmotivated, I didn't always try and fight it all the time. I started to just notice things like, do I just need to just cool my jets for a bit? And it was always, now it's become like kindness based and not like I am worshiping productivity based. You know what I mean? So it's like kindness based now. It's like, well, okay, cool. I notice I'm being a bit of a lazy ass. And I mean, to be honest, I'm never lazy. I won't even say that. But I'm feeling like just something has to change in my schedule. And to me, when I come out of the flow, it's just an opportunity for me to iron out the kinks. That's the way I teach my people about it, is like, how do I iron out the kinks in my schedule? Like, what's not feeling good anymore? What needs to change? How does my working environment need to change? Like, I know now I'm very ready for a trip to Australia. I know that I'm feeling very like I need to go. Like, it's time for, a change, and I need to be there. So I'm just asking myself, what needs to change in my schedule? So when I do feel those times of, not being motivated, the first thing I do is not beat myself up anymore about it. I just look at it and I say, what needs to change? Like, there is stagnant energy somewhere. And all that needs to happen is for that to be moved so that I can move into flow again. And if I resist this period of demotivation or unmotivation or bread eating, Shark Tank watching, then
I love it when she eats bread, by the way. I mean, I go scarf down some chocolate cookies.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's really fun. But it's like, just talking about bread right now. But when I resist it and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just so motivated, and I just try and bang away at the computer anyway, nothing good happens. You know what I mean? No one wants to come near me. No one would want to enroll with me. You know what I mean? So like, it's just about realizing that, honor it. That's human. It's part of life, but don't stay there too long, because all your coming out of flow is asking you to reassess, to move stagnant energy out, circulate new energy. I think if you take anything from this little bit, circulate new energy. 3 words: circulate new energy. Change your working space, change your working environment, change your laptop screensaver, change your schedule. When do you do your calls? When do you create? When do you read? Change your book, change your workout routine, change your meditation routine, change when you have your shake, when you don't. Like, everything needs to be circulated when you're out of flow. That's the secret to, when you're feeling shit, energy is stagnant. When you're feeling unmotivated, what flow is essentially like you're in an untapped flow with like universal energy. That's how you feel. Your tap's on. So when you're not feeling like that, something is stuck. Energy is stuck, and it's likely that you've been doing the same thing too long. That you've been doing the same thing too long. That you've been sitting in the same workspace for too long, and you've seen the same walls too long, and you've done your calls at the same day too long, and you've eaten the same thing too long, and your meditation has been the same too long, and your body's just like, can you just move some energy? Like, I mean, for me, I started, I talk about this in the Supercharge all the time, so it's so fresh, but I told the Superchargers, like, I want you to start dancing to the fridge, like, now. Like, why are you going to walk there? Like, we need to do shit differently so that more energy is flowing through our bodies. So it's just about always noticing that if you're feeling stuck, you need to circulate new energy. Whatever you've been doing, change it. Whatever. If you've been meditating, start dancing in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, change it, because something is just blocked up. And that, like, we've got this round table here, and I will every day sit in a different seat, so I have a different view. So yesterday I was working from there, and I could see there. Today I'm working from here, and I can see this painting. It's like, oh, what a great new office I have today. You know what I mean? Because I know that I need to move. I need to circulate energy fast. Like I've learned that this is the key. This is really the key. Wear something different during the day. Take the Lululemons off for once and just put on something else. This stuff matters. Like, wear your hair different. Meditate at 5 p.m. instead of 8. Just change shit up.
She's got a mean fridge dance, by the way. Pretty epic.
You have to move your
I'll
energy.
film it next time for you.
Yeah, I mean, I dance everywhere. The most inspiring person in my life this year has been Jeremy Morse. He actually lives in Arizona. He's this big, like fat guy who wears Speedos and he just dances. And it's like, everybody asks me, who's inspired you the most this year? Expecting me to say like one of my mentors or something. It's just really not the case. It's him. It's my dream. I said that we're getting ready for my event in Sydney next month. And I said to Erik, it's like my dream. I don't really get hot on like keynote speakers or any of that. Like I'm not hot on that. Like, but I would love to have him come. That is like my dream. Just to have him dance. And I would, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get starstruck very often, but probably would. Because he just dances and doesn't give a fuck. Like he just circulates new energy all the time. And everybody else is just so serious, like personal development, spirituality, consciousness, just got to hit your goals and be productive. And this guy just dances every day and he just gets like millions of views. He's just killing it. And all he does is dance and drink beer. He's just a legend. He's just a freaking legend.
And look, I love that, Pete. And I think, you know, when you're saying circulating new energy, it's that new positive energy that's coming in that comes with movement and flow as well. And, you know, we're in this, you know, doing the network, trying to do the network marketing, trying to be, you know, consistent with people and everything. And I think, you know, it's those the negative emotions of like comparison or judgment or disappointment that come in that can so quickly stop that flow of energy, and you can find yourself spiraling downwards before you even realize it. And then, you know, so that's another thing in terms of being in alignment or being, you know, you can think you're in flow, and then something really small happens and it takes you out of that flow. And so just really, I mean, if you want to, you know, you've touched on it beautifully, but if you've got anything to add there in terms of positive and negative emotions, because they're so prevalent and they're subtle as well with business.
Yeah. And they're real. So you just have to notice them. And I think we also have to notice them first, don't resist them too. And thirdly, realize the power of circulating new energy when it comes to all of this. Because feeling an emotion is one thing, but letting it carry on for so long, that's when it becomes stagnant. That's when you become not feeling like you can create and you can call and you're in your flow and you're on the phone to people and everything like that. So I think it's all about circulating new energy and being responsible for your energy and your alignment while not resisting all these feelings, because feelings do come up in network marketing. You get frustrated. I remember my first building, you know, when I was at the beginning, you get frustrated at things. You get, you get every range of emotion in network marketing. It's crazy. Yeah. Really crazy.
Yeah. Oh, look, that's great. I hope everyone got what they needed to out of that. I certainly did. Now, I've just got a couple of questions here. Sarah, you've said you had a question. Is that still there?
Hi guys. I had a question, and it kind of ties into what the lovies have posted there about leadership. I guess for me it's sort of twofold. Like, it seems there's a lot of people starting to get to that sort of crystal exec 1, 2, 3-star kind of level. Do you sort of see it as a plan for sort of that new wave of leadership coming through? Because I know there was a lot early that sort of have stayed at those higher ranks, but do you have any advice on really how to move through to the next level of leadership for everyone? And then also the lovies have got in there how to also start attracting more leaders as well.
You want to take that one?
You can.
The question for advice on how to build more leaders. I mean, I think that, you know, the bigger the bigger that you start to show up in your own leadership, the more leaders that you just kind of start to attract into your life. And I think that, a lot of people, you know, they may never, you know, they say they're going to do something or hit a rank or whatever, and ultimately it's up to them. And so I think that having this dependency on, you know, you yourself aren't being a great leader because these people aren't stepping up. I would, you know, always check in with myself saying, you know, if people aren't advancing, you know, in my team or whatever, how is my leadership today? And would somebody that's joining my organization today or into my life today want to link arms with me today? Are the activities that I'm doing every single day, would somebody really want to follow that? And, I think ultimate leadership starts with us. We can't help other people motivate them into leadership. I think that's a bunch of BS. I think that, ultimately it's up to the individual, but the way you inspire leadership and attract it is just by checking in on your own leadership abilities and constantly asking the question, are these activities that I'm doing today, is this what I would want people who are leading in my team to be doing? And if that's not congruent, then that's where I think people run into issues.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I think just another question just to add on to that, I think it touches on what you were talking about earlier, how there was this big momentum. And I know for our team and across the board, there's been lots of other network marketing companies coming in, and there's been this pruning away of sort of things that maybe weren't so aligned. And so I know particularly our team, we're starting to all really come back together. Do you have any sort of advice on really how to now take, almost create your own new momentum and really come together as a team again? If that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, okay. So I think that, first of all, that is so normal for what, Oz has gone through in the last 2 or 3 years. This market went through full-blown massive momentum. And so we started to attract everybody. And a lot of times the people that we attracted, when you're in momentum, they don't always align with your culture and your values. And so those people, a year, 2, 3 years down the road, if things aren't going, growth by 100% or whatever, it's like, oh, well, let me go find the next shiny object that I can align myself with. So that's totally normal. And I think it's honestly a good thing because, we like to cleanse in Isagenix. Sometimes, you need to cleanse some of the people after you've gone through momentum. And so I think that, again, that's a normal thing that happens. But I will say that at the end of the day, there's going to be companies that, come and go, but if we stay true to our vision and our values and leading by example, ultimately everybody that left is going to come back. And that's probably what you see. I always like to say the saying that all roads lead back to Isagenix. But I think it's true and it's normal and it's easy but I think when that stuff starts to happen, you being the leader, your belief and your conviction, and people are going to look to you. And if your leader, if your energy is down and you're not feeling good and you're kind of buying into some of that stuff, then the rest of the team's going to do that. But if you're talking about, if you don't let it penetrate at all your belief, then nobody else will that's, looking to you either. And so I think that's just a test that's coming at people to just remind everybody to be unshakable in our belief. Because we know what we have. So, it's normal process. I actually think it's a good thing.
Yeah, gets everything into alignment.
And I think a lot of people as well in Isagenix says that the first round of people went through who now you see as like platinums or whatever. And I think that what Isagenix is really calling for is the next round of people to not look up so much. You know what I mean? Like the next round of people to go first. And not to feel like they're waiting for permission from the platinums. Because in my opinion, the platinums have a lot to learn from you all and the next round of leaders. So what I feel like when I'm always talking to the people I personally enrolled about is like, don't wait for permission from anyone to be the person who goes and rank advance. Because it's like, it's almost like people say, oh, no one's rank advance in a while, but it's like everybody's waiting for those leaders to just do it. And that's what, it's almost like what is required right now, because it's just not always going to be the same people. It's the freshness and the freshness and the freshness and the freshness. So I just want you all to know that you don't have to wait for anyone above or at all to go and do it first, because it really is like this next, like you said, so it's this next round now we're looking for and we're asking for. And I just I hate the thought that people feel like they've got to follow the leader without being the leader. And especially in times where there are other companies around, what is your posture around that? Like really ask yourself, what is the posture around that? What is your certainty and your conviction and your alignment when people are asking you about it? Because energy doesn't lie. And, if you're looking for other people to tell your people that it's all going to be okay, that's where we need to check in and be like, no one could look me in the eye and tell me, and this before I got married to Erik, before I got to see his parents in action every day, no one could have looked me in the eye and told me that any other company coming in was a threat. And they still couldn't, because I don't believe that you can ever threaten something real and unique. And I don't see anything as competition. I see everybody is choosing the company that aligns with their values, period. And we should all be celebrating and uplifting each other. And there's no threat of competition. So your energy as a leader has to be so strong that your people feel safe. And they feel like you're not going to go anywhere. And they feel like you're not scared. And they feel like, you are doesn't matter what's going on above you. They are safe with you. And I think that's what I want for this next round, for all of you and for everybody who I'm talking on, all the calls that I'm doing. And I'm doing a lot more calls now because I'm like so revved up about this in particular. Is I can see that there's so many amazing people like at this level, and the company needs you to be on the stages. Same old people, heard it, time for something new. So time to have you on the stages. It's time to have you going first. And, that's every time I see someone new on a stage or something, I'm just frothing out, because it's like, you are the most relatable people in Isagenix right now. And I want you to have completely unhindered permission to go for it and not think that you have to follow in anyone's footsteps, because you are now the footsteps. You are what the Platinums did. You are what the 7 Stars did. It's now your turn. And I just want you to know that that's really the focus for everybody. That's really my focus, is like, I just want to help people like you go where you want to go, and you down, not you up. Like, forget up, it's you down. And you've just got to be that leader that you're looking for, to give you that certainty, and to be able to look in your eyes and to cast that vision with more certainty in the world, more conviction in the world, more safety in the world, and more love in the world. You need to be that person for everyone. And I think what people forget is your conviction is the most powerful thing. We hear it all the time, but it really is. When you look someone in your eye and you can say this is it. You know what I mean? It's like, no one, like, some people are saying it, but their energy is saying like, I'm scared of this company. I'm scared of this company. I'm not sure I can do it. So it's just finding that fire in you, where it's like people flock to you because they're like, yeah, that is what I want to be a part of,
That's so good. Thanks so much. That was like bang on. Yeah, bang on. Thanks for that. And also, are you guys going to be around Australia a little bit more this coming year?
We are, absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
That's so good.
Cool. Thanks. That was all I wanted to add. You take it away, Al.
That's great. Thanks, there. I've just seen a couple here. Breezer, have you got any more questions? Any of those questions that are still relevant that you want to ask, babe? Yeah.
No, I think most of them have been covered. I guess just, from a personal point of view, just in that, hitting Crystal Executive and then just trying to step into that leadership role when, it's just also new and stuff. And it's just, I don't know, I listen to podcasts and I talk to people, and I'm trying to get that kind of inspiration and that confidence to go forward, like you're saying. So I guess you've kind of answered that there, but I guess any other tips or, do you find a good mentor, someone you align with that's gone before you? I just trying to sort of search for that at the moment. So any advice would be awesome.
Well, I mean, as far as mentoring or even like podcasts, I mean, one of the greatest ways to get mentored is through just, reading books or listening to podcasts and training and stuff like that. But I think that where some people get mixed up, going back to what Peta said in the beginning, is when you listen to a podcast or you're getting training or mentorship, it has to align with you and it has to feel good to you. So if you're getting, if you're hearing something from a podcast or a training that doesn't really align with you, it's like, that's not really me, but people go out and do it anyway, it's not going to work. Like people, have all these scripts and all that stuff and say, yeah, this is how I talk to people. This is how I share Isagenix. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you, because it may not align with who you are or whatever. You ultimately have to figure that out. And I think the only way you really figure that out is, going out and getting into action and just, finding out what works, finding out what doesn't work. And through that, that's what ultimately is going to get your confidence and your belief up. And so, I think that's,
Yeah. Fill it out. Just fill it out. Like I didn't have a mentor when I did it. I think my mentors was my team, to be honest. I think my mentor wasn't from above. It was from my circle, like the people we were all doing it with. So I think you got to remember as well that your mentor is not always going to come from above, so to speak, but there's people around you right now, like your accountability and your power circles, which are equally as powerful. So I don't want you to just think necessarily, and if you're feeling a mentor is right, feel it out, set the intention, ask for what you want, but it may be like an accountability power group that gets together and watches trainings together and from someone who vibes with you. So remember, don't think it has to be a certain way. I think when you're talking about going beyond crystal executive, the most important thing for you to know, if you're getting overwhelmed, because this word leadership can be quite heavy sometimes, and it's like, well, I got to be a leader. I've got to be a leader. What you need to remember you're doing when you move on from crystal executive is helping people feel healthy and helping them help other people feel healthy. And that's essentially what your leadership in this is about. It's about always having a pulse on what your people want in their life. And if you can take it back to the heart of that, it becomes a lot more easy because you're doing what you would do anyway. It's just in a structured business, which is why it's so amazing. So remember that to go from crystal executive to 3-star, you don't have to be anointed a certain type of leader. Apart from what we were talking about before, obviously, but what I'm saying is you don't have to get into the heaviness of, well, I have to have a leadership mentor and everything like that. Like, this business is designed so that you can move from one heart-based conversation to another heart-based conversation to another heart-based conversation. And that's really how you authentically grow, is those conversations which turn people's fire on. And that's what leadership is about in this. It really is. It's not about you telling people what to do and you're trying to get people to move and you got to do this. Trust me, I've done all of it. It's coming back to how do I turn people's light on, and having, like, for you to progress to your next level, your whiteboard shouldn't really be all about your goals. Your whiteboard should have all of your people and what their goals are, and they're your goals now. So if you want to know how to rank advance, how many people in your downline do you have whose goals are your goals? That's how you rank advance. It's really quite simple. So I remember when I used to rank advance, which I used to do so fast because I was crazy, but I would have Anna's goals, Ben's goals, Marion Jacobs' goals, Mary Kruger's goals, Rory's goals. I had everyone's goals. And I'd just be checking in with them, like, what do we need to do? Do you need to do a call? And it was like their goals were my goals. And when it came time for me to rank advance, I didn't even care. It was like, well, I always did because I was helping them, but it was like, it's a lot harder to go to work on your goals. I think it's a lot harder to go to work on my goals. I'm just like, but when I'm going to work on other people's goals and I just know I'm helping them, then that's what this business is about. So how many people on your whiteboard or whatever, on your notes and whatever you use, how many of their goals do you really know? And how are you genuinely just going to work to help them get there? And if your whole downline is doing that, you're going to win, because people feel when they're trying to be told to do something, like Aussies don't buy BS. So it's like, you've got to genuinely be in there. Like, I know what you want. Look, I'm not letting you off this Ice Body Challenge. You told me that you feel crap in your clothing. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing this Ice Body Challenge. We're doing it together. I'm going to check in once a week. Like, it's people don't have that in the world anywhere. No one is doing that anymore. So if you think about how powerful that is, when you have someone who gives a shit about your health more than your doctor, more than your family, and you're checking in, and then you have someone who gives a shit about your money, like, and genuinely wants to help you earn money more than your boss, more than the government, of course, more than anyone else. Nobody has someone who's saying to you, hey, like, okay, like, let's do it. Like $500 a week. Let's get this mortgage done. Like, that's like fucking like a fairy on TV. Like, who does that? People in network marketing do that. You know what I mean? So that's what leadership is about in terms of moving from crystal executive 1-star, 1-star, 2-star. And how it progresses is how many people do you have doing what you're doing in an authentic way. That's how this business grows. It's like, it really is the simplest thing in the whole world. I mean, it really is the simplest thing in the whole world. It's tough. There's toughness that comes in and out of it. But at the core of it, I mean, it's incredibly simple, and we're incredibly lucky. I was doing a call the other day about my other business that I have. I always have my Isogenics business. I have another business. My other business has taught me just how freaking phenomenal. Oh my God, did that just go? Sorry, my calendar pops out. Just how phenomenal network marketing is. It really has. You know, like when you start network marketing and everyone's like, well, you get to profit immediately and rah. And I was like, I didn't really get it. I just knew it was epic. But then I started my other business where I have so many expenses and everything. And it's like just wild. Thank God network marketing just allows me to do it as like a passion project, but it's wild. And it was like, I flipped it around. I did network marketing. And then I wanted to learn, okay, why is network marketing really good? And now I can tell people, like, you're really, like, network marketing, you get all the money, right? And all you need to spend it on is your events, your training, pouring into your team, surprising them with stuff, like you're getting to the events, period. Like, that's your investment, I think, should be built into the compensation plan. But it's like that's your investment, and you get all the rest. Like, this business is just so good. Take it from me now, who also has another company. I'm just like, wow, like, this one is for fun. Network marketing is like the one, fucking on a pedestal over here, because it is just like so good. Like, no idea how. I think I was having this conversation with my brother. I was like, no one in the world has any idea. Like, not even Tony Robbins, like, his business model, still not as good as network marketing. I mean that. He's still got to get on the stage and speak every time. He's still got to, like, there's residual aspects to his income, but like, can the everyday person do what Tony Robbins does? No, this is ridiculous. I'm telling you now, it is ridiculous.
Tony Robbins has an IT team. He's got a supply chain team. He's got a finance team. He's got a customer service team. All that stuff that he has to employ. He has to, worry about every single day. The company takes care of that for all of you. And that is like such an amazing thing that you all don't have to worry about that. We got that covered. You guys just go get passionate about these incredible products and changing people's lives. And then we get to pay you.
Erik's the one who pays the IT team and the lawyer support. He's the one who has to do that. But I mean, like, building my traditional company, which I had to do because I had people from all sorts of companies, like doTERRA, Young Living. I had all the oils companies, obviously, coming to me, and they want mentoring, they want coaching, they want other people wanted events that weren't in Isogenics. So I had no choice but to build another business. I really had no choice. But so I've done it graciously. I've done it, but I'm learning a lot in the process. Like, wow, like, wouldn't it be great if, it's just taught me, like, wow, like 100% of your effort in network marketing. Like, you don't have to pay my operations person, everything like that over here. And it's just, I just was so grateful that I really got network marketing and I did it. And that I have that, that I have that business to nurture forever. And some people I just really want you to get that. I said it I just went off on this to my brother on the phone the other night. It was, I mean, when you really have found the right company, you just can't put any words on it. You really can't. So just go for it.
Oh, look, thank you so much, guys. I think that just really nailed it. And I think, it's really, it comes down to it's simple, and it's people management. And at the heart of people management is your self-management, and which is why personal development is at least half or more of this business. Sorry, he's just cracking it. But that self-development is such a key piece, because how you show up in the world is how you're going to attract people. to show up in your world. And all of everything that was just said in that last segment is so spot on. And hurry up, blow me away. We've almost been on the call for an hour, and I really, really, like, an hour of your time is so precious, all of you. I'm going to respect both Pete and Erik's time, and that you've probably time for a toasted sandwich or something now, Pete, eh?
Yeah, it's soup and bread, babes. We're on our way to get some organic white bean and cow soup and some gluten-free focaccia. I already planned it.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, there you go. Thanks so much again. Thanks, guys. You just unmute yourselves and just say a big thanks to the guys. We'll all be seeing you in Brisbane next year, and hopefully before. I'll definitely be seeing you guys before, but yeah, big love.
Thank you. See you in
Thanks
December.
so much, Pete.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Bye.